We all fantasize about accomplishing things that have never been done before. Some of us do the proverbial countdown as we hoist up another late summer jumper, imagining us hitting that winning shot as time expires, and then taking another shot as time expires again until we actually sink it. Now, that's not an impossible example like the Browns winning the Super Bowl or something like that, but here are 5 things that have yet to happen in sports, but would be totally awesome if they did. Number 1, an 0-3 comeback in either the NBA Finals or MLB World Series. An 0-3 comeback is probably the most rarest of scenarios in the history of sports. It's happened 5 times in the 3 sports that include 7-game series, including in the 1942 Stanley Cup Final, where the Leafs came back from an 0-3 deficit to beat the Detroit Red Wings to win the Cup. Now, this was not the last time they won the Cup. That was in 1967. The 0-3 comeback does happen the most in hockey, as 4 out of the 5 times an 0-3 comeback has happened, it happened on the sheet of ice. 0-3 comebacks are so rare in the NBA that it's actually never happened. Only 3 times, most notably in 2003, that a Game 7 was even forced in a series where the Portland Trail Blazers came back on the Dallas Mavericks in the first round to force a Game 7, which they actually lost. Yes, teams have come back from 3-1 deficits, most notably, in the 2016 NBA Finals. However, in the NBA, down 0-3 is basically a death sentence for your advancement chances. Like having a toddler fall into your cage and you getting shot. In baseball, yes, it happened once in 2004 when the Red Sox came back on the Yankees. However, that was, once. It's never happened in the World Series, which would be insane if it did. In fact, out of the 24 times teams have faced 0-3 deficits in the World Series, only 3 times, most recently 46 years ago by the Reds in 1970, did a team even force a 5th game. Basically, if you are up 3-0 in the World Series, stick a fork in that pig. But someday, the comeback will happen. It'll either be the Mets or the Cubs that blow that 3-game lead, because I'm a Met fan and I'm convinced my team hates me as much as I hate myself. A 16 beat a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Teams have come close, most notably when Princeton took a struggling Georgetown team to the buzzer in 1989, a game in which they had 2 chances to win. The odds against this happening have a lot going against it. Number 1, it's never happened in 124 games that have been featured a 16 versus a 1. And now, 2 number 1 seeds get to play a team that had to play in just to get into the 1/16 matchup, making it even more difficult to upset a number 1. That, and they match up 16 ones because that's how seeding works. It would be an embarrassment for the committee if Austin Peay beat Kentucky in the first round. So don't count on this happening. Hoosiers don't happen in the NCAA.
We have major corporations sponsoring this event.
Win the NBA championship on a legit buzzer beater. We all know there have been a number of notable buzzer beaters in the NBA, and in the NCAA last year, the championship was actually won on an insane buzzer beater by Villanova. However, the NBA championship has never come down to a legit, time-expired, bucket falls in, confetti explodes buzzer beater. The closest we have is when his airness nailed a jumper he might or might not have pushed off on with 5 ticks left in the 1998 NBA Finals. Plus, it wasn't a Game 7. That was Game 6. I know I'm reaching here, but look, it's never happened. And for all the times you dreamed it in your driveway as you banked home that rebound chance because you missed your 3-pointer and had to crash the net, it's never come close to happening. But oh, it would be legendary if it did. USA win the World Cup in soccer. Now, this one might be disappointing to some of you, as some of you might think of soccer as about as exciting as bingo night at the local firehouse, but the sport continues to garner attention from US fans, especially on the international stage, and more resources are put towards the US Americans trying to lay claim to yet another thing in the world that we need to be atop. I mean, we already win the World Series each year. What else is there to conquer? Oh yeah, soccer. And maybe curling. Anyways, let's face it, soccer is the world's biggest sport, and it would be absolutely insane if the US won a World Cup, because in the U.S., we are the biggest bandwagon country that has ever been out on the face of this earth. And by the semifinals, more USA jerseys and coffee mugs will have been sold than all other previous years combined. Because there's one thing Americans can throw money at: winning at something and taking a dump on the rest of the world while doing it. Don't hold your breath, though. The closest we've come is the semifinals in 1930, when there were like only 12 teams. And the farthest we've been since was in the quarterfinals in 2002, when we got a gift matchup against Mexico in the first round and then got outclassed by the Germans. We're able to usually advance to the round of 16. However, it will be some substantial time before we are the world's number one in football and in literacy rates. Number one, Super Bowl overtime. I save this one for last, as this one has the most fan appeal. In 50 games, not one Super Bowl has ever gone into overtime, though a couple were pushed to the brink, most notably when Adam Vinatieri won games for the Patriots in the last seconds in 2002 and 2004 respectively. Those games were tied up when he kicked those field goals. So yes, he did win 2 Super Bowls with his kicks, but they were in domes with no wind, and the game was tied. Anyways, the overtime rules for the Super Bowl are the same as in the playoffs. First team to score a TD wins. If a team in their first possession kicks a field goal, the other team will have an opportunity to either tie the game with a field goal or win the game with a touchdown. Naturally, if neither one of those occur, the team that kicked the field goal wins. Once there has been a change of possession with neither team scoring, the game becomes sudden death. I think the pure excitement of a Super Bowl overtime coin toss and the moments leading up to the score, however it is made, creates a drama in sports that would be truly amazing. Imagine how famous that one guy will become for the rest of his life if he scores a Super Bowl winning TD. Could he get all the way to the White House? Oh, let's not take it that far. But yeah, I'd vote for him right now, even though he doesn't exist. Did I leave any out? What are your thoughts? Leave a comment below and tell me what you think. And as always, please subscribe. I'm 5 Points Gaming, and you made it to the end of this video.